Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. It's Allan Laboucan with the Rocks and Stocks News Show. Got another of my in the news segments where I talk about juniors that are making and mining companies that are making news. And I've got a good group to talk about today. So I'm going to get right at it and share my screen. Just give me a second. All righty. The first company up is Blackrock Silver. The headline is that Blackrock Silver's partner Tirlac completes core program with significant lithium zones reported in all drill holes at Tonopah North. They highlighted their drilling that they've reporting assays for three new core step-out drill holes at the company's Tonopah North Lithium project in Tonopah, Nevada. It's also called Gabriel. These newly reported holes intersected broad lithium mineralized zones with many intervals exceeding 1,000 ppm and grades up to 1,300 ppm, with all results received and reported from phase one, which was an 11-hole drill program. They intersected significant grade and thickness of lithium in every drill hole. Assays show higher than expected lithium values as compared to the original discovery drilling and have established an expanded mineralized blanket covering an area of 2.6 kilometers by 2.8 or 7.3 square kilometers. Based on Tirlac's results, the zone appears to be open to the north, south, and west. Andrew Pollard, who's the president and CEO of Blackrock, commented, with each drill hole from our partner-funded phase one core program hitting broad, thick zones of mineralization across a 7.3 square kilometer area, the results signal significant tonnage potential with a grade profile that is in line with other more advanced projects on the Tonopah Lithium Belt, including the adjacent TLC deposit, which is owned by American Lithium Corp. The project has come a long way since the initial discovery was made less than 1 year ago by Blackrock, and we're excited for Tirlac to get geological modeling of the data underway on this largely open system. With both silver and lithium to play crucial roles within the emerging green economy, the company's land holdings in Tonopah, complete with one of the highest grade undeveloped silver gold resources in the world, in addition to the late adjacent lithium discovery quickly being advanced, uniquely positioned Blackrock as a potential domestic provider of these critical metals, end quote. Then there's more details that you can read in the news release, including the actual grades. As you can see, excellent distribution of the lithium throughout their drilling. So that's a heck of a situation. And then I'm just going to scroll down here. They have, as they highlight here, they have a growing resource of high-grade silver that's very reminiscent of the early days when Silvercrest was doing their maiden resource analysis and growing the resource with a very attractive grade that's similar to the early days of Silvercrest. Now, Silvercrest recently had news out, and their epithermal vein mine is quite spectacular. They're producing silver at an all-in sustaining costs of $11.45 an ounce and selling that for well over $20 an ounce. That was their first commercial quarter of production, and they paid down debt. They've now paid down 95% of their capital cost to get it into production and are growing their cash. So that just goes to show that these epithermal veins with these kind of grades can be cash-making machines. And then another project that I'm excited about is their Silver Cloud project, where they hit an epithermal vein in the boiling zone that returned 70 grams of gold and 600 grams of silver. That looks like another spectacular epithermal vein cluster, and I can't wait to hear more news about that as well. So they have a great group of projects: lithium, silver resource, and an emerging bonanza grade epithermal vein at their Silver Cloud project. All righty, so now I'm going to move over to Goliath, and I just wanted to make sure I haven't. I closed one of them. Sorry. Goliath Resources closes an upsized broker private placement for gross proceeds of $9.65 million Canadian. This will give them the money to aggressively go after their sherbet zones. They have a series of stacked zones, the biggest one being the sherbet zone itself, and then it's got stacked zones above it. They've had a tremendous success rate with their drilling. I think the number is 95% of their holes have hit gold, and of that, the average thickness is about 6 meters, over 6 meters, and over 6 grams per ton of gold. What really excites me about the project is you can see there's 3 key structures that are likely the plumbing system that got this gold mineralization into these sheets of zones. And what's really exciting is as you follow those zones down the mountain, they all come together beyond the zones that they've already drilled into. And and they've done some technical studies that suggest that there is a deep plumbing system, and where those 3 zones come together is a great area to be looking for the source and the extensions of the zones that they've already hit. I think that they're getting pretty close to their next drilling program, and I've talked to management, and the plan is that we'll get an interview together with their key technical people and discuss that in the not too distant future. Goliath has what I think is a 2 to 5 million ounce plus target. I think they're well past the 2 million and heading towards the 5 million and plus. And these are not easy things to find. They're in the Golden Triangle of British Columbia, that's known for big mines like this. And I think they've got one of those on their hands, and that they will be a future takeout target. I'm really glad to have them as a sponsor of my reports. And this gives me the ability to do a lot of research and reporting on the company. And I'm looking forward to our next interview. All righty. I'm going to just quickly grab the news release that I wanted to talk about next, which is from Sokoman Minerals. Sokoman has a lithium project in Newfoundland that looks quite exciting. They had some news out on that. I'm just going to pull up the news release, and so we can talk a little more fully about this. Sokoman is a sponsor of my shows, and very glad to have them as a sponsor. Here's the news release. So Benton and Sokoman provide exploration update on their lithium exploration at the Golden Hope joint venture in southwestern Newfoundland. They announced that they've completed 1,400 meters in 10 holes on the 50-50 joint Golden Hope joint venture between Benton and Sokoman, and they're targeting lithium and other critical metals. Drilling is focused on the Killick Dike zone, where 2022 drilling returned up to 1.04% lithium over 15.23 meters, including 4.18 meters of 1.48%. So they're getting into some really nice grades for one of these spodumene pegmatite fields. And here you can see the coarse grain spodumene. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to return some very high grade out of. And here's some more core photos. This is medium grain spodumene. So they're definitely getting a better understanding of the system that they're drilling into. There's a photo of their camp. Here you can see all the various targets throughout the project. This is where they're focused, but they have plenty of other targets to focus on. Yeah, they're moving ahead aggressively. They also mentioned that they're going to be adding a second rig to this drilling. So this is a great lithium project that I'm quite excited about that Sokoman is involved with. They also have their orogenic gold system at their Moosehead project in Newfoundland. That is their most advanced project. They've done a lot of drilling. And they have really crossed a major milestone on that project in that they are now starting to, at their 463 zone, starting to get into very high grade to bonanza grades of gold in an orogenic gold system. So now they got to poke some holes around to figure out which direction those zones are going in. But I really like what I see out of that project, and I'm looking forward to more news from the Moosehead project from Sokoman. But in the meantime, they're doing a lot of drilling on the lithium joint venture, and looks like they've got some good news to come out of that in the not too distant future. All right. So now a company that's one of my picks is VR Resources. And they announced today that confirms kimberlite diatreme breccia in hole 002 at the center of the large 1.2 kilometer magnetic anomaly at Northway in Ontario. Let's have a look at some of the pictures from the drilling. So first of all, there's the drill rig that they're using. This is the geophysical anomaly that they're talking about. It's a very large geophysical anomaly in the kimberlite diamond world. As you can see here, this is a 3D model, and their first two holes are really only just getting into the anomaly, but they are seeing some spectacular garnets here. These are diamond indicator minerals, and these are eclogitic garnets. These eclogitic garnets are known to occur with very high grade diamond mines, and are known to occur with high quality diamonds as well. This is the kind of stuff that you saw at the Victor mine in Attawapiskat that De Beers developed and mined. It didn't have a really high grade on a per ton basis, but it had an extremely high value per carat. And that's what made it for a very lucrative mine. I remember being at the Prospectors and Developers annual conference when De Beers had a run of mine parcels of diamonds from various different mines that they had throughout the world. And the run of mine diamonds from Victor were spectacular. They made the others look quite ordinary. It was like the entire parcel was clear diamonds that were ready to be put on a ring with just a little bit of polishing. So this area is very prospective for very high quality and high value diamonds. Really impressed with this because now you've got see more excellent diamond indicator minerals and other things that you expect to see in a kimberlite that has good diamond carrying capacity, and some more good good looking core there. So it's been a long time since there's been a new important diamond discovery in Canada. I'm watching VR Resources very closely. I'm excited to see the early diamond results from this drilling that they've done, and also the diamond indicator minerals, because in a lot of cases in the early drilling, you can learn as much from the diamond indicator mineral chemical compositions as you can from the micro diamond distribution curves. And so I'm very eager to see more news out of this project, but watching this one very closely, because you find a diamond mine and they can be spectacularly profitable. The final company is Allan Metals. This is a company that has an exciting project in Fiji. Here you can see some of the highlights from the sampling from the face of the veins. 51 grams of gold over 0.56, 117 grams over 0.19 of a meter, 38 grams over 0.19, and 58.68 grams in a grab sample. Now, when you get these kind of spectacular results, you're not expecting to see them over tremendous widths. They're underground mines that are fairly narrow, but in this case, tremendously high grade. They had some more images with visible gold highlighted here. And they gave you some indications of what they're doing with the underground workings. Walter Barakoff is the CEO and chairman, and he stated, and I quote, "We are excited to have started mining our second lode at the Tuvatu gold mine, especially so soon after we started mining our first lode. Without the diligence and hard work performed by our geology and engineering teams in Fiji, we could not have located the lode as successfully and as accurately as we did. We are extremely pleased with the amount of coarse-grained gold visible on the face of the lode, which is even more than was anticipated. Following our initial sampling of the face and due to the presence of visible gold in multiple fracture orientations, we are optimistic that the overall grade of the URW1 lode could end up being even higher than what the grade control drilling has suggested. We continue to learn more about the Tuvatu system as we open the system up underground, and we are beginning to see how well endowed the Tuvatu system truly is. Just like the discovery of the URA1 lode on our initial drive underground, the system continues to provide surprises to the upside as our underground development progress." End quote. And so what this really allows them to do is, when you're drilling into one of these coarse-grained systems, getting an accurate grade on the mining grade is difficult because they are coarse-grained. When you can get in there and actually take out bigger samples, you get a much more representative grade. That is often much higher than the drilling indicates. And I think that's exactly what they have the potential of finding here. Lion One is another one that I'm following very closely, and glad to talk about them today. All righty, so there you go. That's the news, the companies that were in the news for today. And as always, my shows are for information purposes only. Important for you to speak to your financial advisor before making any investment decision. And most importantly, do your homework. There's several of the companies I talked about today. I've done interviews with their management that you can find on my YouTube channel at Rocks and Stocks News. You can find it on them also on my Substack at rocksandstocks.substack.com, or you can also find a lot of my commentary on Allan B Reports on Twitter. That's ALLAN B as in boy, REPORTS. On that note, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.